Cahill.
Here.
Commissioner Doyle.
Here.
Commissioner Elkins.
Here.
Commissioner Engbar.
Here.
Commissioner Goldberg. Here. Commissioner Green. Here. Commissioner Heavenry.
Here.
Commissioner McKenzie. Commissioner Poles can't be with us today. Commissioner Taylor. Here. And I am here as well. Okay, any announcements? Seeing none. Do we have any members of the public for public comments?
There are no members that want to comment at this time. And there are no members of the public on Zoom at this moment.
All righty, we are then going to move right into closed session. So if I can have everybody skedaddle. Goodbye. Technical. In the brownouts, if you don't have skedaddle, you'll find it. The official term for what everyone needs to do. It's concise. Scooch. Be gone. All right, we are reconvening open session. There was no reportable action taken in closed session. So we're going to move into number 7, presentations. 7.1, Siegal and Strain design presentation for the Rincon Valley Regional Library Modernization Project. Hello, Dave.
Great, and are we able to get sharing capabilities?
Director Tebow, my name is Dave Tsheva. I'm the facilities manager here to introduce the team of Siegal and Strain, who are going to present the Rincon Valley Modernization Project. Library staff presented the library at CIP, the Facilities Capital Improvement Program, back in October of 2025, which included this project and also was presented at the Finance Committee in September 2020. And then most recently, we presented at the Finance Committee again. Regret to reduce scope, and here's what we have.
Okay, thank you, Dave. This is Susie Marzola from Siegal and Strain Architects. I'm a principal here. I'm joined this evening by Colin Searles, also of Siegal and Strain Architects, Karen Payson, and Caitlin Keene of Karen Payson Architecture and Design. And they are our interiors architecture collaborator on this project. I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to work on this great project and to provide you with an update on what we're calling a refresh project. Our work, as mentioned, began in October of last year, and it builds on the master planning efforts and facilities conditions assessment reports that were prepared previously for and by the county library. Our aim is to have the project completed by next summer of 2026. So next slide. Our scope focuses on the main library reading room and the children's area to the west of that, which are shown here in gray on this plan. The area of improvement totals approximately 11,000 square feet, and the project scope includes new finishes, primarily carpet and paint, new furnishings, that is furniture, shelving, service desks, a new study pod, a teen makerspace, and a materials handling room, and the associated mechanical and electrical that go with that, and improved organization for better library zoning and circulation. Next slide. The library was built in 1993 And in its now 30+ years of service, it has become one of Sonoma County's most used libraries with a collection of approximately 60,000 individual items. The library also hosts a number of very popular programs, including story time sessions, movie screenings, computer classes, and music and movement events. In terms of the architecture of the interiors of this building, we would say that this building has good bones. It features a high central gable with clerestories running down the length, shown here in the central image, and a children's section situated below a slightly lowered gable at the west end of the building. The alcoves on the lower, which have lower ceiling heights, edge this taller central space. And they're currently furnished with seating around tables and separated by tall shelving, as shown in the image on the left. The interior's material and color palette you can see is muted, consisting mostly of tan and beige fabrics and carpeting, with exposed wood structure and oak trim at the walls and ceilings and on the furnishings. Next slide. Through collaboration with the library staff, we identified key areas of improvement for this project. In terms of circulation and layout, we all agreed that the circulation patterns are relatively circuitous and they need to be clarified and straightened out a little bit. The reference and circulation desk are currently separated and they would be better combined for improved workflow and patron support. The materials collection, the various sections are spread out, which hinders browsing and browsing abilities. The operational challenges of this library currently include a book drop room that's too small for the equipment, the materials handling equipment that the library would like to install in that room. And the seatings, table, and especially computers are dispersed around the library, making it difficult for the librarians to assist their patrons. Specific desired program improvements include a better defined teen seating area and a teen materials area, an identifiable gathering space and a usable gathering space in the children's area, and then finally, better positioning of the existing sound booth, which is right now located, if you could point to it, Colin, right near the entry to the librarian staff area. Next slide. The primary objectives of this library project are the following: consolidating the service area into a single service desk location near the entry with nearby public use computers and printing stations, creating a dedicated teen space, including a maker space, to accommodate the up to 200 students who arrive often from neighboring schools during peak school year afternoon hours. Better organization of the children and adult sections for improved visibility and browsing. Expansion of the returns room, as mentioned, for upgraded material handling equipment and system. Improved acoustics, especially in the children's area. And refreshing the library finishes with updated furnishings, fabric, carpet, which Karen will present in a moment. Next slide. So the proposed layout is organized around a single centrally located service area near the entry, including the service desk, bank of public serve computers, self-checkout, a browsing area, a focused browsing area, and the book return, and then a clear circulation pathway or pattern that rings that central shelving area within the main volume of the library. Our zoning strategy places the collection shelving, shown in the darkest blue on this drawing, down the middle of the building. The dedicated children's area remains at the west end of the building with improved acoustics and movable furnishings on the south side of the children's section. A new dedicated teen area plus a maker space along the north side of that central space. an adult seating area that includes the media section along the south side of the central space and opens out onto the existing patio. And a repositioned sound booth and new study pod at the east end of the building with shelving between those two uses. Next slide, please. And here is the floor plan. And just to kind of summarize, our big move here is to consolidate the service plus those high-touch service areas, technology, self-check returns in the middle of the library, right next to the entry, with low stacks on either side to provide for the greatest visibility across the library, bringing those with a clear walkway. And then generous seating spaces along and with seating and tables along the edges. And now I'll turn it over to Karen to talk about the interior architecture and finishes.
Well, thank you, Susie. And thank you all for giving us this opportunity to work on this great project. 4 years ago, we completed a very similar project to refresh the Pacific Grove Public Library, which was comparable in scope and size to what we've been asked to do at Rincon Valley. This building, which is what you're looking at now, was built in 4 stages between 1938 and 1977, but it had a lot of similar characteristics in terms of high space, low space, and what the program for development, or the brief really was. It felt cramped and outdated, and staff wanted to maintain the collection size while updating the storage and the displays and to meet current code and introduce some new program spaces without adding floor area. Because at Pacific Grove, because no significant work had occurred for 45 years, we were able to expand from within, rethinking all the program spaces, reimagining the ceiling configurations of the 1908 and 1958 sections, updating equipment and furnishings, lowering and reorganizing the stacks, relocating and rebuilding the service desk, because as at Rincon Valley, the service models have been evolving in the last couple of decades. And finally, brightening the finishes. And at the children's room, which is what you see on the bottom of the page, we consolidated the shelving and we created a new open area dedicated to children's activities and programs. And the children's, adult, and quiet reading rooms all now feel fresh and spacious. And let's move to the next slide, please. Like at Rincon Valley, the Pacific Grove service desk was originally next to the door. We moved it to the center of the room, of the big room, as we are proposing at Rincon Valley, improving sight lines across the space and also consolidating services at this big central desk. Tall shelving units everywhere were cut down to 66 inches and spaced according to contemporary practice. In addition, although the 1977 part of the building enjoys a very tall ceiling, the main room was still dark during the day, and that's what you're looking at the top of the page. With lower stacks and updated lighting, we've captured more available light for the room. And in the quiet reading room, which is at the bottom, we reduced the amount of shelving devoted to periodicals because there simply are fewer print publications that are sending their materials out physically. And we were able to provide more comfortable seating and improved lighting. The change in the lighting fixtures in this case allows the available natural light to blend well during the day for reduced glare. And we have, at Rincon Valley, we have targeted a couple of small areas where we actually are modifying the lighting slightly. Similarly, at Rincon Valley Library, the current shelving along the perimeter is typically set at 90 inches, with the top shelving being unused, really similar to what you see in the top left photo here. We'll be lowering the shelving along the walls to about 78 inches and in the center, using a stack height of 54 to 66 inches. The stacks at the children's area are currently set to 66 inches at Rincon Valley, a modern day standard for adult stacks. So these will also be reduced in height to 42 and 54 inches. And the lower shelving will allow for visual continuity across the library and into the children's and outward from there. And new shelving will be a lighter color. It'll be champagne, a lighter palette that brightens the space. Next slide, please. During our in-person, our kickoff workshop with library team, the desire was strongly expressed to bring color into the library because, as Susie pointed out, it's all kind of beige right now. And we're proposing a palette that nods to the original wood structure, but freshens it with cool tones and crisp whites, and looking to reflect to some degree the surrounding natural environment. You've got that beautiful tree out there in the courtyard, and we'd like to bring some of that into the building. Next slide, please. As precedents, we've been inspired by some of these libraries. Two of them are ours, which are Pacific Grove and Bayview, and the rest are by others, and all employ some natural wood in the structure or the furniture or both, combined with a generally light and cool toned palette that it creates a peaceful environment. At Pacific Grove and Half Moon Bay, the major wood structural elements are left natural. At Roxbury, which you see on the bottom left, a system of acoustic baffles are expressed as wood, kind of mimicking ceiling structure. All of this is on the backdrop of a white, light reflecting ceiling and walls. And at Bayview and Half Moon Bay, the palette is cool and light in tone with wood furniture, also just reflecting nature. I call it a bit of tactile modernism. Next slide, please. Shown here on the left, so this is what we're proposing in the children's area. And shown here on the left is a rendering of how we're thinking about the children's area and how we're envisioning it. Stacks that are now near the windows are being relocated so that we create a consolidated area for children's activities and children's programming, even with its own acoustic baffles, which will be colorful, and its own separate inset rug to really give it some identity, similarly to what we did on the right at Pacific Grove. Movable furniture will be able to accommodate a variety of configurations depending on the need and the program that might happen there. The children's librarian's service desk is near the entry to the children's area, located to welcome and assist patrons, as well as to have proximity to the computer stations, the children's computers. And these playful elements, which you see on the left, and I mentioned the acoustic ceiling tiles for the children's stay and play or program activity areas, it helps contain the noise and also provides a bit of color and playfulness to this area of the library. And on the right, at the Pacific Grove example, it shows how such kind of additional playful elements can be used to really provide a lively and enriching experience for the children. Next slide, please. In the teen area, we're taking kind of a similar strategy of creating a consolidated area with different kinds of seating, and also using an area rug. It's really an inset of a contrasting rug, and this area will to create identity so that it's really identified as their space. Will include a teen computer station and a mix of seating types for group gatherings and study. We're proposing a mix of reader chairs and lounge chairs that are easily movable to encourage spontaneous changes of use. Similar to the children's area, as well as other bays of the library, we've relocated and reorganized the stacks to create a more open and visually unifying arrangement. Shown on the ceiling are acoustic panels. Again, it'll help mitigate noise transmission into other areas of the library. And in the background of this image, kind of at the center of the page, you'll see this glassed enclosed area, which is a dedicated makerspace. And that will allow for a variety of creative programs to take place inside, and also to contain the sound a bit. And shown on the right is an image of the teen area at Brisbane Library, which we worked on with Siegal and Strain, where we used a similar strategy for color, but also flexible seating options. And the last slide, please. And here's the entry. On the left, you see an image of the proposed entry with this consolidated service desk. And this desk in its new location will really be a hub for patron services, reference, checkout for those who don't want to use the machines, assistance, technology assistance. Staff will be convenient in this location for help with reference and technology support. And browsing will be more consolidated as well, really starting when you enter the building. So some browsing and hold shelves will be near the entrance, and you see this to the left, which is where the service desk is now located. And additional browsing will be inside near the desk. You'll see kind of straight ahead and to the left of the desk. And also it's located not only near the desk, but also near the computers. And the similar solution that we implemented at Pacific Grove with this really expanded service desk in the center of the room is what you see on the right. And I think that's my last slide, but thank you very much. Susie, I think, are we ready to take questions?
Sure.
All right, thank you so much. Dave, is there anything that you want to add? Okay. Commissioner questions or comments? Commissioner Taylor?
I had a question about seating. Under the old layout, it looks like there's room for about 110 as opposed to about 90 with the layout you're proposing. That seems like a significant reduction. Is that going to be sufficient to meet the library's needs?
Susie, do you want to tackle that?
So in terms of the seating, is that I'm sorry, it was difficult to hear your question.
My apologies. The seating, yes. It looks like there's a significant reduction in seating. And I was wondering if the proposed layout will meet the library's needs for seating?
And we have worked with the library, I will say worked with the librarians on this. You can see in this image, there is space. Right now, the library feels cramped. I can't remember the number of seats. Karen, can you remind me?
I thought, yeah, excuse me, but I was surprised by the number that you cited because I understood that it was more like 70 to 90. So I did not understand that we were reducing seating by 20. Also, just, an FYI, at some of the reader tables, we're showing 4 chairs. It's a pretty conventional setup, but it is possible to put more chairs at that table. But we have been working pretty closely with staff about seating requirements.
And I'll just add, we will most certainly check in with staff on the seating
Absolutely.
requirement, because it was important to them to maintain the seating. We will check that and we will make sure the librarians are satisfied with the number of seats that we are providing.
Yes, I'll double that.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner McKenzie? Oh, Erica, did you? Okay, Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes, I'm going to combine a couple of comments and a couple of questions and just get it all lumped together here. I thought it was really helpful in this presentation to see the scope and the specifics very clearly laid out, and I really appreciated that. I was surprised there was only one study pod because we know how popular they are. I was wondering if the maker spaces get used, if it's in your experience with these refreshes that maker spaces actually get used. I was surprised about the comment about 200 teens and how that was going to be dealt with. And lastly, the children's area with the movable furniture, I was a little concerned about noise and programming and so forth, because it's kind of, when you look at the new floor plan, it's kind of flipped to the, what you're calling the stacks, although I thought stacks were something else, but so anyway, yeah, and then lastly, just on this proposed floor plan, if any of these dark blue things are any kind of walls or not, or if it's completely all open space. Thank you.
I'll tackle some of these. There are the new walls that are included in the revised plan are there around 4, which is the material handling room, and then the maker space where Colin is pointing right now. And otherwise, the partitions are either stacks, like the one next to number 1, just tall stacks that go up. or number 10, which is where the single study pod is, and number 8, which is where the sound booth is located. So otherwise those are the around 4 and next to 7 are where the new walls are, and those are all steel partition system. The noise and the children, we are working with an acoustical consultant to up the acoustical material that is in that space, particularly over the gray area that's called out as number 6 on this plan, and we will check back in with them. As you know, during the life of a day of a library, there's a fluctuation of patron population. So in the morning, often when the children are there, other folks retreat to the corners and around corners because of the noise that might be coming from that area. Hopefully the improved acoustical materials in the children's area will help some, but we will check in with Salter. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that because our entire strategy of putting the teens under the lower ceiling and consolidating the children's activity space under the lower ceiling it's partially as a spatial strategy, but it's also an acoustic strategy, because instead of having programs kind of migrating out into the main space, by having it contained in these areas with lower ceilings, it gives us a great deal more surface to control the sound that's emanating from that area and to control it from closer down. And I hope that when I talk about flexible furniture, I hope that that we're not misinterpreting this as stuff that young children can pick up and throw around. This stuff's pretty heavy. It's really that staff can move things. So there's a mix of, we have these, when you look at under the number 6, just below the number 6 on this slide, you see this kind of arc, and it looks like a segmented arc. That's a really wonderful kind of ottoman system that we've used in other public libraries, that it can be, they're just separate pieces that can create a shape, and you can sit, and you can even do lap sit during story time. And it's flexible in that way. No arms. There are a couple of lounge chairs that have arms there, also that are sort of lap sit size. But then that stuff can all be moved out of the way that can be moved out of the way if it needs to be. If you have something that's more frontal, like a presentation with a story time with a singer or something of that nature. So we have found that is a pretty successful model in the children's areas. And then going back to the makerspace, this is the state of the art. This is what libraries are asking for, specifically for the teens, but then, the knitting club goes in there. It can be used as a study pod. And this has been really part of the change that's happened in libraries over the last 20 years, where they've really migrated toward community centers. And it's not just a place to go read. These maker spaces become kind of an additional program area, and you don't have a separate program room. So this really helps. This will really help a lot in terms of controlling the sound.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Elkin?
Thank you. A comment and then a question. First of all, a comment. I really like what you've done, and I particularly like how you've addressed the programmatic needs. I'm looking at the floor plan here, and you have great separation between the children's section and the teen area and the quiet area. I like the fact that you've consolidated the service desk, and that's close to the technology center. No, I think this is really sound design, and I like the design features that you're incorporating as well. That's my comment. My question, Dave, in the note that follows later in Erica's report, you mentioned, and we had asked for a reduction in scope, which this addresses. There's a note here that says to lower costs and avoid permit requirements. So am I understanding that if this is the scope of work that we undertake, that we would not have to get permits to do that.
Yes and no. So there's minor electrical and minor HVAC work that needs to be done for the makerspace, but those will come in at a much lower cost, which won't trigger EDA upgrades.
Okay. Then I have a question, and I want to apologize to Susie and Karen because I was not at the commission meeting when you presented originally. And I'm not trying to re-enlarge the scope, but I have a question for my own understanding. I understand we're doing nothing with the restrooms. And with previous refresh projects, we have moved to gender neutral, single use restrooms. You know, our library is proudly for all. We want to be sure that we're welcoming to everyone, including our transgender and non-binary clients. What I recall from the documentation earlier was you said we were not going to be able to do that for a couple of reasons. Could you explain to me why we were not able to do that, even if we were to expand the scope, which I'm not suggesting that we do now?
And Dave, is it okay if we ask you to take this one?
Sure. So that was the easiest thing to cut out of the scope to be within the original budget. So the cost per square foot to do gender neutral restrooms was 3 times as much as the general construction costs per square foot.
And approximately, what would that, again, not saying we should do this, but just so I understand, what would that result in terms of
That
cost?
result in having to get a full permit, which would trigger the ADA improvements outside, which would.
So the
That's the way it costs.
Yeah, so the cost, I think we estimated about $500,000. And the other issue with the gender neutral restrooms is the sight line from the reference desk. Because of where the bathrooms are located, that was one of the issues that we would, the sight line would not be clear to that area.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on the makerspace. So I don't sound like a troglodyte. I am aware that makerspaces are the thing. And I have been to, a long time ago, Sonoma State University added a large space, makerspace, which I'm not sure ever really got used very much. Granted, it's an academic, library, but also I visited other libraries that have had large makerspaces. So I was interested in actually your experience on whether they get used. I guess maybe it's a librarian question, but I thought you had a good answer that it's a small enclosed room and it can be used for other things. But I did want you to understand that I do know that they're, a popular in thing. I just had concern about whether that's the best use of space, but thank you.
And I'll just add to the makerspace. We call them maker spaces. They are activity rooms, they're community rooms, they're study rooms, they're very multi-purpose. It's an opportunity for an enclosed space where people can gather and talk freely and not reverberate voices across the library when working on a craft project or a homework project for that matter. It's just an opportunity for an enclosed space. I know we call them maker spaces, we always do, because crafts have gotten to be such an important aspect of library program, but when they're not being used for maker uses, there are plenty of other opportunities for use in that space.
Okay, Commissioner Elgin?
Dave, this is probably for you. Do we have a preliminary budget for this
What was
project?
presented at the September 13th, 2024 Finance Committee has not changed. So the pamphlet that we presented to you guys, and then again in October presented at the commission meeting. We have 2 million.
But we don't, That's the estimate. We don't.
Yes, we haven't talked it out in this work, but we are confident it will come through that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cahill?
Yes, I'm confused about the cost. I thought this was a reduction in scope. There should be a reduction in cost as well.
So the original,
Sorry,
yeah, the original cost was over 4 million.
that's what I thought. Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming today and presenting. We really appreciate it. Dave, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you very much. Have a good
Thank you.
evening.
Oh, public comment, thank you. Is there any public comment on that? All right, moving on. We have library reports.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Director DeBoe?
All right, you hear me now, great. So I have some great news. Our Petaluma Library reopening, 1,000 people a day. Extremely popular. And we also have some news on our history and genealogy project that is supported by grant funds from the California State Library. That will be closing September 13th and reopening October 14th. So that project is moving forward. Any other questions?
Any other questions for Director DeBoe? Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes, thank you for that. Great news about Petaluma. I'm not surprised. I did want to ask you, is this sustainability report part of your report?
Yeah, it is part of the library director's report.
Where did it come from? And I have a lot of comments about it, but I don't want to take up the time to.
At the request of Commissioner Elkins, he asked for a report on the library's sustainability effort.
So what would be the correct venue then to make just some comments and not spend the time?
You can send them to me direct.
Since email you, okay, thank you.
Any other questions about the library report?
Commissioner Engberg?
Yeah, I thought, that our notion is to go staff together with that motion, then to report, you go back to motion.
I don't remember what the motion was.
It was a pretty motion. Getting people together to achieve the aspects.
Is your mic on?
Looking, thanks, looking at the aspects of sustainability, how we were doing in regards to the ALA and the Sustainable Libraries Project guidelines and the like. Deborah, suggested that the staff have a chance to look at it first before either Andy or I did more work on our motion. So I'm wondering, is this your report for that purpose? And if it is, then what would be then our next step? I think would be for Andy and I to get together and talk about what we're going to do next.
Well, what would be your desired outcome from the next steps?
To compare where we're at with the standards, to get some information about what the guidelines are actually and how they've been brought up to date and what other libraries are doing to comply or to foster a sustainable library system, all of that. I thought the motion was pretty detailed in terms of what we were going to be doing with it, but I didn't have it in front of me.
Well, I think the notion was that we were going to have a report from the staff, and then we were going to have a commission discussion as to what the next step should be. I don't think it was not automatically
Yeah,
going
that's why I wanted to check.
a proposal, that sort of thing. And I also think that I'm not sure that the commission, you may, but I'm not sure that the commission could necessarily figure out what libraries are doing that the library staff couldn't already help report on, so. Do we want to have a discussion at the next commission meeting, or are we, you all have you've all looked at the report, do we think we need some additional? Over to you, Sarah.
Commissioner Goldberg?
I'd love to have a discussion about it at the next meeting. Super interesting, lots of stuff to discuss and enhance for the future, as is indicated here. I think it'd be a really good discussion next time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a second for that discussion?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Commissioner Elkin?
Just a quick comment, I'd like to give a shout out to the foundation. You mentioned that there's a new digital version of the New York Times, including games, sports, food sections. We had lost the funding for that, and the foundation has stepped up. I very much appreciate that.
And we hit our Libby 1 million mark earlier.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, any public comments? Okay, moving on to budget and finance report, financial reports. For the period ending July 31st, 2025, Myrna?
July is our first month of the fiscal year, not too much activity. So there are
Any questions from Myrna? Okay. We have 8.2.2 financial reports unaudited fiscal year end as of June 30th, 2025. Any comments?
These are, like I said, unaudited financials, but it is it looks at how we finished the fiscal year. And this is, I had mentioned there is a moderate shortfall in sales tax revenues. Property tax did come in over $1 million as budgeted, and also interest earned. The offset that sales tax revenues. We got some savings and also you can see that we have the use of our fund balance, and that's because of the impressive activity with our capital modernization projects that have been approved with the budget.
Any questions for Myrna? Commissioner Elkin?
Thanks for the year-end report. Got a minor correction, not to nitpick, but just for the record. On page 34, the section that on capital. Says capital expenditures totaled $8,359,255. That's correct, which is approximately $6.4 under budget. That's not correct. Should be $3,790,256 according to the report on page 36. So we just a little typo there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any public comment? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving right along to Library Advisory Board, Sonoma County Library Foundation and Friends of the Library. We do have an item that was submitted by Mike Neely on behalf of the Windsor Library Advisory Board, the 2025 Windsor Survey. Mike could not be here with us today, so if we have any questions, Commissioner Doyle has been so kind to answer them for us. Commissioner Doyle?
So you had a chance to take a look at it. Most of this survey was done during farmers markets. And so after we looked at the results at the lab came to the Library Advisory Board, came to the conclusion that the wording needed to be a little more explicit concerning visits, and we're aware that the people who go to the farmer's market are not necessarily the entire cross-section of Windsor, but it was a good first effort, and so we thought that the next time we might do it in front of a supermarket on the other end of town or by Walmart or something like that. And we think that would give a more representative sample, but it was good to have everybody out there. And Ben was, our new chair, was sorry that he couldn't attend. And Mike Neely, as always, gets tremendous thanks and respect because he's involved with everything and he's a library supporter par excellence. Yeah.
Questions or comments? Commissioner Elkin?
No, I just have a question. I mean, this was great and interesting to see what prompted the lab to do this and what prompted them to do it now. We have a strategic plan that's gonna be kicking off that will involve a lot of outreach. I was just curious what they were hoping to accomplish.
Well, they did it 2 years ago and decided that they wanted to get in the habit of doing it. And so they thought that the strategic plan would be going along, and when they did it the next time, to include the other people, that it would make sense to do it again, as the strategic plan is going forward. But they wanted to make sure that they were getting in the habit of it.
Commissioner Goldberg?
Thanks. I have a couple of questions about it. One, on other needs, was that a set of questions, were there questions that they asked and that's how they came up with these needs?
Yeah.
Okay, and is something going to, like, who does this go to? Where's the fee? Us?
Why us? And before the strategic plan, and so this is
Okay.
yet a couple of other data points to include.
Okay, and then my other question is, I don't know if it's because it's so small and I couldn't read it, but how often do you visit the library? Am I missing a legend? Am I missing brains? But
Daily, monthly, less.
thank you.
That's what
Okay.
Well, didn't get it. Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Oh, Commissioner McKenzie?
Yeah, just wanted to say, Runner Park Lab did this years ago, and I thought it's just a really neat way to engage the community. Sebastopol, I'm pretty sure had an open house. Anyway, appreciate the effort of the lab. I think that's a great idea, and I think there's some good ideas here or under other needs. So, good outreach, lab. Well
Thank you,
done.
Barbara. And then the one thing that is not in here is that the Friends of the Library that usually do 2 book sales during the farmers market season, they are not doing them this year. And so this is another way for the library to have visibility with its advocates.
Thank you, Commissioner Heatheridge?
Yes, I just want to say that the Petaluma Lab has been doing this for years, all the events that they go to. And I believe, Lisa, that next month they will be presenting here at the commission meeting. They got it in a little later. But so we'll be talking about our results too. So mention that.
Thank you. Any public comments? Right, moving into our number 10 consent items. These matters include routine financial and administrative actions that may be approved by a consensus. Any commission member or member of the public may request that an item be removed from the calendar and have it placed within the action items. The commission will approve the minutes of the prior meetings in summary format. We have 7 items for our consent agenda. I do just want to take a minute and acknowledge our new Library Advisory Board appointments. Sonoma Valley Library, Victor Roos and Carl Sherrill. I apologize if I pronounce your names incorrectly. Roanoke Park Katati Library, Lucia Malpica Vargas, and the Sebastopol Library, Clara Marquez. Commissioner Engber.
Thanks for reminding me. I'd like to pull item 10.2 and 10.3.
Okay. Down to action items. So for the remainder of the 5 consent items,
I'd like to move approval of the consent items on the agenda, not pulled.
I'll second.
that was everybody. So good luck, Lisa, for bringing that out.
Battle Royale. Who wants it?
I'll give it to her. All righty. We're gonna put those 2 at the top of the action items. So public records, oops, I know, I forgot that, didn't I? Thank you. Okay, public comment first. On the consent. Okay. Can you take a vote? Okay, yeah. Commissioner Cahill,
Yeah.
Commissioner Doyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Engarth.
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg. Yes. Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Heavenridge.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie. Yes. Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
And I will make it unanimous. Okay, now we'll go into action items. So we'll move 10.2 down and we'll address the Public Records Act policy first. Director Tebow.
I think. I'll take your policy. The changes to it are relatively minor, as you can see from the red line version. We are just making this consistent with our other policies using our new template. And that includes language, we move the table at the end for accessibility, as well as the language that that the library director has the authority to make minor changes to the policy.
Commissioner.
Yes, my objection, and why I wanted to pull the item, was the discussion under 4, administrative appeal from denial. The JPA in Article 5, 3 or 8, basically it says that the final decisions or decisions of the director are appealable to the commission. And there's no reference to this, and the use of the word final at the end, looks like that their only recourse on this if they have a problem with a decision made under this is just to go to the director, not to go any further. And so I'd like to see that corrected to reflect the JPA's language.
I'll defer to our legal counsel on this matter. Jeff?
I would need to go back and look at the JPA. You did change the appeal process when you adopted bylaws or revised your bylaws, which were revised to be consistent with the JPA. So we'd need to look back at both of those. I don't have them, unfortunately, in front of me.
Then I'd like to move that we carry this over to the next meeting until we have a legal opinion.
Okay, any public comment? We are moving to hold the Public Records Act policy to a future meeting. I'm going to take a roll call. Commissioner Cahill?
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle?
Yes.
Elkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Engarth?
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Green? Yeah. Commissioner Heavenridge?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
And I will make it unanimous. Okay. We're gonna move into the revised gift and donation policy. Commissioner Engarth, did you have some specific questions? We have Craig Palmer. You want to come up, Craig?
It's better, to get to that. Oh, yeah. It's the same thing on page 86, director's authority. And I think there might be good reason for both of these policies to talk about it, because as I understand it, this is not just a day-to-day decision that's being made here. It's a long-term decision dealing with the commission making or being responsible for caring for trusts and donations over an extended period of time. I know we've had some discussion of it, but I think again, the language in here saying that the director has the authority to change it in limited ways would be important. But then it goes on to say, imposing additional policies or procedures that are deemed necessary for the efficient and safe functioning of the library. That seems to take from the commission the ability to make a decision about a policy that's not an operational policy.
I'll answer that question. So I think this is the same issue that we've had with the other policies. And I can just share a little bit about what kind of changes we would be addressing. So for example, we have our delegation of authority policy that says how much each management team member is authorized to approve. And we have title changes with our communications manager to communications director, fund development manager and fund development director. That is the kind of thing that we would be changing in the policy, is their title, not their authority. Things like, you know, in the PRA, if there was a government code change, we would just make that government code change. Those are the kinds of changes that we are proposing with this language. Anything more substantive would come to the commission.
I'm wondering whether it might be, again, using, since Jeff's looking at the other one, to reframe this, say that we're talking about an operational policy rather than a strategic policy. That you as the director do have the ability to tell your staff, look, we need to make a change in this. But I think if we're going in, I think to clarify it, just to say that that's what we're talking about here, are operational changes, so the policies themselves are going to be reviewed by the commission.
Erica, I think the issue is really, if I understand you correctly, that you would prefer to have clear description of the kinds of changes that you make?
I think the category, I think if we say that, if we agree that there's a distinction between operational and strategic, for example, the commission is responsible for long-term strategic planning on a policies that are other than day-to-day. A day-to-day change would be the things that you're talking about. So I think if it's clear that that's what your authority is and delegated, it's just to operational changes, like changing the headings or changing the language or doing something else like that, but not to policies that are within the realm of the commission's duty. So that's what I'm asking. And since Jeff's working on the other.
Well, our fail-safe is we send all of our policies to our legal counsel, even when we're making minor changes, and our counsel would advise us of any change that they felt needed to be made at the commission level.
Yeah, okay. From my perspective, the operative part here is so long as in line with the purpose of the policy. And that's generally what I have taken to be the driving principle here. You're right. Any delegation of authority carries with it a degree of ambiguity as to what exactly is being delegated. Here, I think what I've always understood this to be is she would not be able to make changes to the policy that were inconsistent with the purposes. So I think the sort of operational, my problem with operational versus strategic is I'm not sure exactly what that means either. I don't know that that necessarily adds clarity.
I'm gonna put myself in the queue and add that I think it is actually addressed by the use of the term minor as well as functioning. So if you want to address operational, that's functional. So I feel like both of those are covered in this language, which is the standard language for all of our policies. So to make an adjustment to this language would mean to reopen all of our policies.
Yeah, and that was going to be my second point, is that I would be cautious about tweaking this particular language in any particular policy, because anytime you make a change in what is otherwise standard, there's an assumption that you meant something different than is true in other policies. And that would create the potential for some ambiguity of someone saying, well, if we're limiting this particular one, then there are no similar limits in the other policies.
what I'm suggesting, Jeff, is that, looking at, I don't know how this phrase worked its way in policy, but I would prefer something that's clear, the delegation was just to, you know, and Sarah's close to it, just to a simple change, like a change in the typing phase, change in the how the director might follow it through. But I think to open it up and not be clear about the type of policies talking about as a category, I think opens it up for, you know, somebody to come in and some director down the line that might be a different director than the director we have now, say, I could rewrite it. I've got the delegation because you guys have it in here and it's been in here forever and ever. I think if we are going to have to correct it, I think now's the time to correct it as we're going into strategic planning.
Commissioner Cahill?
I think the present language is adequate. I think Jeff is right. Trying to make a distinction between operational and strategic is to invite a descent into madness. And I think we should just move ahead with the existing language.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Commissioner Goldberg?
This is a much smaller thing, but Craig, on page 91, first four items, gift under, gift under, gift under. Am I reading this correctly? That, for instance, under 5,000 may be accepted by a division manager. And then on the fourth line, gifts under 75,000 must be accepted by the library director or designee. Does that mean that while these people can accept it, then they must, however, be approved by the director? Is that what it means?
I'm gonna answer this question. So this is just in alignment with our delegation of authority policy. So our delegation of authority authorizes our management team to approve purchases. And this is the equivalent for accepting gifts. So it used to be that, you know, that certain members of the management team have the authority to spend 5,000. They have the authority now to accept a gift of under 5,000. So it's just making sure that this policy is in alignment with our delegation of authority policy.
I get that. So what I don't understand is in line 4, gifts under 75,000 must be accepted by the library director.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
That word.
That's a good point. Erica, do you happen to know is must in the purchasing policy also? Because I agree, logically, I would think that should be may. To be consistent with the other.
I think the purchasing policy said only the library director is able to spend up to 75,000. We could change it, may be accepted by the library director. But how the language would need to reflect it, only the library director is able to accept gifts of that amount. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the construct, you've got under 3,000 may, under 5,000 may, 50,000 may, 75 may would be logical, unless I'm missing something and we're trying to capture a concept there that I.
Yeah, I think, Erica, it's just that.
May only, how about may only? Would that
Under 75,000, I think maybe what you mean is between 50 and 75,000, because 50 may be accepted by the direct and deputy director. The way it reads now, Dara would have to come to you and say, well, it's under 75, so it must be accepted. It doesn't make any sense.
So I think so I can accept any gift. Dara can accept gifts up to 50,000. The division managers can accept gifts up to 5,000. So I would say we can add may only be accepted.
I think, to interrupt, my apologies, I think what Commissioner Goldberg is trying to say is that the word should be up to rather than under. So gifts up to $3,000, gifts up to $5,000, gifts up to $50,000. I think that is what Commissioner Goldberg's for clarification.
We can make that change.
Is that what you were thinking?
No, but I think Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, to Erica's point, I agree. I read this, and I've always read this as Erica could accept a gift, any gift under 75,000, including some that were under 3,000. That would be fine. However, if a gift is above 50,000 and under 75,000, only the library director or designee could accept it.
That's
I
what
don't know that we need to add, I think the answer is to change must to may, because then I think it's consistent in all of these categories.
I agree.
Yeah.
Commissioner Elkin, did you?
I would like to move that we accept that change and approve the,
Commissioner McKenzie still has a comment.
I'm sorry.
Of your motion for a second, Commissioner McKenzie? Okay.
I had I had two comments. One is in that same section, we're very specific about division director, deputy director and so forth, but under 3,000, it says a children's teen or adult administrator, and I find that title kind of more general than all the other titles. I didn't know if you meant what you meant.
They're very specific job classifications. So we have a teen services administrator, that's Laura Myelian, a children's services administrator, that's Kathy DeWeese, and an adult services administrator.
But they have titles called division.
No, they're not division managers.
Okay.
They are administrators.
Well, for one thing, it's not capitalized. I mean, it looks like a general administrator rather than a specific title to me. That's what
We can capitalize them if that will solve the problem.
it would make it look consistent.
Okay.
Like I told you, it was a little thing, but that seemed like a vague group. My other comment is on page 85, under accepting unrestricted bequests. Yeah, it's a little language thing. Under item C, it says, in such case, consult library general counsel. And I think the language is really, in such case, the general counsel will be consulted for further guidance. This is kind of like a demand language as opposed to process language. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, so in such a case, the library shall consult library general counsel and or the attorney for further guidance.
Well, I was gonna phrase it, in such case, general counsel will be consulted for further guidance, or however you did it, Sarah, that's okay. But rather than just needs to be more of a process about what happens.
Okay.
You want may or you want shall or?
Well, it's not consult, it's.
In such a case, the library will consult. In such a case, the general counsel will be consulted, the library general counsel will be consulted.
I had general counsel will be consulted for further guidance.
Library will consult, which is active voice.
I don't have a problem with it making a change. Want to be careful with that change. The then parenthetical doesn't really flow well. To say library general counsel shall be consulted and or the attorney doesn't really.
Well,
we can say, in such a case, I think you probably want to just say, in such a case, the library shall consult library general counsel and or the attorney who prepared the request for further guidance.
right, that's fine. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, so the item on the floor now has a change for the under and the shall and the other capitalization, and the change to section C to include that language. Is
Second.
there, okay, so your original motion.
As amended.
Excellent. Commissioner Doyle second. Is there any public comments? Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Cahill?
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Ingbar? Commissioner Goldberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Heavenwood?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Okay, moving into action items by motion. Before we get started with that, we're at 7:34. Shall we take a 5-minute break before the library closes for restrooms. Please be back at 7:39. Okay. Okay. Let's go. 7:40. Where's Commissioner Elkin? Where's Commissioner Elkin out there? No more chit chatting. Let's go, people. Move it along. We can heckle him when he comes in. Yeah. Yes, we did. And if I win, I will make a sizable donation to the Library Foundation. You have it on record. And then I'm out of here. Love you all, but we're moving to Fiji. We're going. What year are you winning the lottery? Oh, the lottery's over $1 billion tonight. So we bought this. Oh, yeah, no. I'm gonna make a very large donation to the Library Foundation and then wait. Oh. I'll have enough money not to worry about it. You're moving the faucet. All right, we are back. We are starting with action items. Action item 11.1, strategic plan consultant contracts. Director Tabell.
So I'm very excited to bring this to the commission for approval. After a thorough review process, we've had 12 proposals. I do want to thank the selection committee. It was a lot of work. 12 proposals, 50 pages each. We met and discussed all of them and selected 3 to move forward to an interview. We conducted our interviews, and as a result, we selected the Ivy group. And for those of you who do not know, Mark Fink, who was one of the consultants, is the former director of Yolo County Library, also worked at Solano County, Santa Clara Library. very familiar with California libraries. So we're happy to have him on board. I also want to point out that one of the reasons why we like this proposal is the robust community engagement. I want to point out that there is, in addition to a retreat that happened at the beginning of the process, the commission and the staff, each of you will be interviewed by the consultants. So we have 11 commissioner interviews, and then we will have a strategic priority setting session sometime in the early spring. So, that is something we will be doing multiple engagement opportunities as a body. And then we also have many stakeholder sessions. We will also be doing interviews, and these will be staff-led, but I also do hope that some of you will volunteer as well. I know that during the reimagining plan, the library did 95 individual interviews. We are hoping to do a less ambitious version of that, maybe 30, but I would like to, utilize the commission as well as some of our lab and friends members to do some of those stakeholder interviews in addition to the staff. So I'm very excited to be bringing this.
Fabulous. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Atkins?
I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for going through this very robust proposal review process. I can only imagine the time and effort that was required. Just very positively impressed by the proposal and in addition to all the pluses that you described, I also like the fact that one of the outcomes is measurable targets, which we can use as the basis for work plans. So I was very enthusiastically in favor of this proposal. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Egbert?
Yes, I like the proposal. It's really good, and I also like community involvement. That's really simple. I have some things that might be helpful future proposals that are presented to the commission. I would have liked to have seen more information about the other people that were being viewed, because it's being presented to us for a decision, and we're only being presented one choice. So there's not really much decision making involved in that. And I think that especially for the strategic plan, the commission should be involved in much more depth than just getting a completed project proposal and saying this is it. And the other part of that leads into it is that there aren't any options that are presented. Like if we wanted to save the travel costs of these people coming out here from Carolina, and find somebody that was local that might not have the same travel costs. We're not shown that might be an option and how we can make that option available. So that also makes it less of a collegial kind of decision making we're making here. But it's not really decision making, so we don't again know what our choices are to make the decision on. This was a fairly thorough proposal. I would have liked to have had more time to do due diligence on it, to check into the company. I would like to see some information about that, like what this company's standards are. They provided references, but oftentimes self-provided references, your best clients. I'd like to see more information about other people or whether there were any complaints made against this company. either to the consumer agencies, or to the Better Business Bureau. But those are some other things. So it doesn't seem like we're doing much of a decision, and it is one of our primary duties to do the strategic. Feel a little bit left out on it. I think that the other thing that I have a concern about, and I don't know if Jeff's still on the line, is I look to see whether there's a choice of law clause in that contract to see what law was going to govern what was going to happen if there was a legal issue that came up. I didn't relish the idea of ending up to a litigation in North Carolina.
No, it says California.
Yeah, it does. You find it?
I believe it does.
I read it, but I'll find it.
Yeah, because I looked and but I could have easily followed the machines. But that was one of the concerns I had for Jeff to find out whether that was in there. So
Section
Page
13.
176, applicable
Section
law in the
13.5.
forum to be construed and interpreted according to California.
okay, great.
Yeah, section 13.5.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, any other questions, Commissioner Cahill?
Yeah, I'm impressed with the proposal. As Andy said, I'm impressed with the deliverables with metrics, which is a major weakness in the reimagining plan. I was also glad to see that we chose the least expensive option. So
I can share with you that the proposals ranged in price from 60,000 to over 400,000. So we had a wide range of prices available to us, and this is kind of the median. And the other thing that I liked about this proposal is they are using this Factor AI and doing this deep dive on our locations. And so every branch will have a report that will be generated that will show the market segmentation, will give us information about both users and non-users. And that was one of the major selling points for me personally on this particular proposal.
just to clarify, this proposal contains within 3 pricing points. And you pick the most economical, that's what I meant.
Right, it had
It's a good choice.
It had 3 tiers, and I
Yeah.
did negotiate with them over the price, which is why I included the original proposal and the amended proposal.
Oh, Commissioner Doyle?
Just to note that 2 commissioners were involved with the interviews and I think some of the reference checking and that sort of thing, I think that's more operational than something that the commission really needs to do. And I was one of the ones that was on the committee and there was a lot of work that the staff put into it even before we met. And personally, I know Mark Fink too, and not only was he a wonderful library director, but he's also knowledgeable about libraries all over the country. And so I think that having him on this is really a very positive thing for us.
Thank you. Commissioner McKenzie?
Yeah, I just want to say it took me a really long time to read through the proposal. And then I tried to read the original proposal. And anyway, so I can just imagine how much, I know you got a lot, like 12 proposals or something like that. So I appreciate the time and you really have to think about it. I mean, there's a lot to it. I appreciate that. I'm really glad that we are where we are, ready to go. And I really appreciate the fact that you're looking for more roles for the commissioners to be involved in the interviews and possibly even lab members, because, we're always looking for lab members to be involved, and I think it's a great opportunity. So thanks for all that.
Okay, any other comments? Questions? Any public comments? Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
There we go. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Going to a roll call vote. Commissioner Cahill.
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle.
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Engbar.
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Green. Yes. Commissioner Heavenridge.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
And I will make it unanimous. Moving into 11.2, naming rights policy. Craig? Hello there. Do we have any questions or comments, or Craig, do you have any introduction to make?
Well, I'm gonna make a few comments.
Please go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
From a fund development perspective, we have the opportunity tonight to take very important steps forward, creating the most essential tools every major campaign requires. And all of it has to do with the specificity of how gifts are acknowledged in all campaigns going forward, including Roseland and every other campaign in the library system. Tonight, we are asking you to consider two policies, one on the book since 2017, and in very serious need of an update, the naming rights policy itself. The other is brand new and the necessary companion policy, the missing link really between considering the gift and the missing link in this policy of acknowledgement. And it's the donor recognition standard that Ray will introduce next. Both of these policies are intended to work together, and then in keeping with the provisions of the naming right policy, at the next commission meeting, we'll be coming forward with recommendations for naming opportunities specific to Roseland. I want to acknowledge the helping hands to get us here. Chair Logan, Commissioner McKenzie, Doyle, Greenberg, Cahill, thank you for candid and constructive feedback. Erica and I policies of several of the life course of this, and then Ray very closely to create these two policies. And may I say, from my own development experience, the work Ray and his team have done to develop these recognition standards to me was just right. If adopted, there can be no doubt what gifts are acknowledged and uniformly and equitably to all. Be they from individual or institutional donors, as well as from our own friends groups and the foundation itself. This revision of the naming rights is virtually an entire from the 2017 original draft. In the earlier 2017 version, there have also been language addressing how cash contributions of service could be recognized. Because of the priority in this policy to set very specific and measurable guidelines for cash-based contributions, this language on non-cash gifts was not included. At a later date, if needed, recognition for non-cash contributions could be the subject of its own.
Thank you. Any commissioner questions or comments?
Thank you. Thank you and Ray and everybody who worked on this. I did have one question. I know that this is directed at Roseland and Forward, but we just finished Shieldsburg and we just finished Petaluma. Is there any thought to retro signage and plaques and so forth?
We will do that for the friend gifts.
Only?
Well, those were the only one for those specific
Big
projects, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Director, could I add something to that? We're working on a design now for Guilford and Paloma. And we need to make it retroactive, help other branches. You've seen all the grass flags outside. There'll be some sort of update of that. That acknowledges, in Paloma's case, for example, the state of California, city of Liberty, and Virginia's requests. It's coming.
Any other questions?
I would just have a comment that it's very thorough. Appreciate the amount of work that you did into both of these.
Hey, public comments? All right, we have a motion and a second.
Move.
Second.
There we go, we have a motion, we have a second. All right, any other discussion? Here comes our roll call vote. Commissioner Cahill.
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle.
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Engbar.
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Heavenridge.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
And I will make it unanimous. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're moving into action item 11.3, recognition standards policy. Ray. Helen.
Thank you, Chair Logan. Commissioners, ready to vote. I have the easy half of this fair policy. The topic of recognition standards and a commission-approved approach is an important companion to the previous policy. So our key concept behind this policy is creating consistent and easy to understand expectation. Donors be recognized in consistent ways. System. We all have experience to the opposite of recognition labs to vary in size, and style. We decided not to do that. We will repeat that for like be clear, simple. The signage system is its own visual map and guide, and the system provides reliable and recognizable expectation. This is an outward facing effort that focuses on the experience of health. And simple. The dimensions of the dimensions of various patches listed in the policy. So this is, like I said, just a sample, it's an example. We picked a Alder, by the way, in case you're a nerd. So it's when it's easy to work. When we get closer, we'll send the sign company a package of signs, and they'll source a type of wood that's consistent and holds up well too. And then we'll do the simple laser grade method. So I can answer any questions.
Commissioner Heavenridge.
Really interested in the benches, but they don't have any amount of money connected. I want a bench.
Right there.
We talked about benches, we provided for them in here. It's big benches may have to be less consistent. They were created for different reasons, and different methods, and that's an area where we may want to have a little bit more individuality based on locale, the library, regular place, things like that. Or we'll have standards. Standard type of leather.
Yeah, because I'm getting older, I want to sit on the bench at the library. I like to have my name on it. Okay. All right. Paul's bench. That's it.
Commissioner Doyle.
I have to say that this is a fabulous policy, and when you pass a policy like this, you know that it's really happening. And you know that the system is really thinking about recognizing people in a global way, and I think that it's just wonderful. And I appreciate all the work that's gone into it. It really, really is going to make a significant difference, and I think the donors are going to be very happy too.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Yeah, I really like the consistency, as Deborah was referring to throughout the system. It'll all be consistent. Is this $100,000 one?
I don't know. It's
8 by 6. I'm thinking this is about 6. Not really doing it.
yes, you're right.
God,
It's $100,000.
get your checkbooks out, 100,000.
About lottery tickets. Any other question? Any public comment? Anything, none, a motion in a second?
So a second.
All right, over here. We saw Commissioner Doyle, and I'll give Commissioner Heather. Okay. No more, any more discussion? We'll move into the roll call vote. Commissioner Cahill?
Yes.
Doyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Engbar?
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Heavenridge?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
And I will happily make it unanimous. Nice job, everybody. All right, we're moving into action item 11.4, one step 2025 salary increase for Library Director Erica Tebow. Commissioner Doyle, did you have anything to add as the chair of the committee?
Just that, I will remind you all that, that we changed the evaluation period for Erica, because we wanted to move it to be consistent with the year. So, so this is a little late in coming, so there's going to be a retroactive piece to it, but the thing that I would really like to say is that I think Erica deserves not just this one step increase, but such a round of applause and so much appreciation for everything that she's done in this last year and a half that this will cover. And we, you know, that's all.
Well deserved. Any commissioner comments or questions? Okay, any public comment? Oh, or Commissioner McKenzie?
Just wanted to add, I think, those of us who've been around have gone through like 5 different directors or something. And what I really feel, I really notice, besides the competence, the efficiency and everything, is the stability. That it's a sea change in terms of knowing that you're here and focused and staying. And anyway, thank you for that and everything you're doing.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay, any public comment? Okay, we have a motion and a second.
I move.
No, I have Commissioner Goldberg and Commissioner Green, first and second. Okay, any other discussion? And roll call vote, Commissioner Cahill,
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Elkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Engbarg.
Yes.
Commissioner Goldberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Green, Commissioner Heavenridge.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yeah.
And I will enthusiastically make it unanimous. All right, last action item, 11.5, Lake and Mendocino County Libraries restated agreements for the integrated library system ILS services. Oh, my.
We have had worked with the in partnership with Lake and Mendocino County since 1996 and 2000. During that time, we have not made any amendments to that contract. This is the first time we've done that in that time. It's changed drastically, technology has changed drastically. And this new contract that we've working tonight, worked on with KMTG from the start. Working with Jamie and mine as well as Dara with the drafts that we have for you. This new draft is based on an actual usage formula for the charges of the contracts rather than the archaic terminology that was in the packet from the photocopy typewritten contract as they were before. Happy to take any questions like that.
Any questions? Commissioner Elkin.
I thought this was a drastic improvement over the previous opaque language. And I just, first of all, really glad that we're in partnership with Lake and Mendocino counties, you know, support that. I think the proposed arrangement based on usage seemed very fair. My one question had to do with, it was item 3.3, where you say, in addition to the usage-based fee, recipient shall pay a baseline fee of $1,500 per location. And I guess I had 2 questions about that. Per location, does that mean for each of their libraries? And second question, did you and your team feel that that was adequate to, you have some bullet points below that, and then farther down under 5.1, you have provider responsibilities. I just wanted to know that you felt confident that this would cover the additional, you know, overhead that was involved in providing those services.
We do. Tina Murad is the ILS administrator within my department, and we're the lion's share users at about 79% of the system of that 3-year average. Have been in the
packet. And then working with Jamie as far as catalog, and we're the two departments that really have support needs that we provide. Those have gone way down over the years, and so we did feel pretty confident based on those numbers and the amount of time that we give them. Now, when we migrate, so that's going to change, that's going to elevate, and that's built into this contract as well. And after that, it's going to take back down again.
Okay, well, as long as you're comfortable with it, I certainly am. Thank you.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes, thank you. It is a relationship with our other counties and, really a great long-term relationship. So that's great. I was wondering on your report, it says, oh, the impact is estimated to be $53,000. I wasn't sure who the impact is on.
That's going to be the revenue from the virus coming here.
To us, we will gain almost $54,000. Okay. In a given year. Great. Thanks very much, Mike. I'm sure a lot of work went to this.
Commissioner Doyle?
We've talked about this a little bit in the finance committee meeting, and the relationship has been of long standing. I think some people, certainly maybe some of the audience who is listening at home, may need a reminder that, you know, California libraries, and not to go on in length about this, but California libraries have been underfunded for a very, very long time, and county libraries in particular have been underfunded. And so one of the great things about these partnerships, the cooperative partnerships that we have and all that kind of thing, is that the stronger libraries can actually help some of the weaker libraries during the very bad times. And if we look at what's going on in Washington and Sacramento, I think that we can probably assume that there are going to be some very bad times coming. And we are so fortunate that Measure Y passed. We are so fortunate that we're in California at all. But I think that it's a terrific partnership, and it's terrific that we're going to get paid more money, but it's also a wonderful thing that we're helping libraries that don't have the resources that we do. So, and that is really critical because, you know, it is.
And well, I would like to share that I personally get items from Fort Bragg all the time, courtesy of this relationship. So they have a great movie collection as well.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to ask my other question. In the past, I think we've seen numbers, and it has to do more with circulation, like which way the trading goes, and we've kind of been a net beneficiary, I think, of their systems.
Still.
But there's no financial involvement in that. It's just, we just look at it, but that's not part of this, or?
You know, reciprocal borrowing is part of the contract.
Okay.
Item number 7, in the contract with Falcon, specifically reciprocal borrowing, and that's a core facet of the contract, and it always has been. And we are still net borrowers from them. Given that they have less funding than we do, they hold on to materials longer than we do, and so they have unique collections, and our borrowers have always gotten the advantage of taking the opportunity to use those materials.
Yeah, they have older books. Eric and I were talking about this. They have the older parts of your mystery series that you want, because they hold on to it. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I guess I didn't read that closely enough, but thank you for that, Mike.
Any other questions? Any public comment? Seeing none, is there a motion and a second?
To approve.
Okay, we have Commissioner Elkin and Commissioner Green. Any other discussion? And roll call vote, Commissioner Cahill,
Yes.
Commissioner Doyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Elkin.
Yeah.
Commissioner Ingber.
Yes.
Goldberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Heavenridge.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
And I will make it unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Any updates to 13.1 Commissioner reports? Seeing none. Oh, yes, Commissioner Elkins, do you have a comment?
I really appreciated your share report and the guidance that you shared from the board governance workshop you attended, and I hope we will all take that.
only have one update to my report, which is that I did not win the lottery. My husband just texted. I have to go next month. Any other updates to the commissioner reports? All right, 13.2 committee and liaison reports. We only had one from Commissioner Goldberg. Did you have anything to add?
No, except I'll put in 2 foundation reports next time.
Okay. Yep. Oh, Commissioner McKenzie.
Did you jump past 13.2?
We didn't have one.
Right, that's why I was gonna make one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't make one.
Yeah, we met on an unusual day. We met on August the 14th, and then I went out of town. So we didn't get the minutes out. So I wanted to give a brief update on what we actually did at that committee meeting. We did receive our CFO's reports for the year end, which it's a very good year, well budgeted, well funded from a revenue standpoint. So revenues exceeded our budget, and property tax was a little bit under, but our interest was much greater and covered that shortfall. So I wanted to compliment again the CFO and administration involved in the budgeting process, because they did a good job on those targets. And then we spent the majority of our meeting talking about additional discretionary payments to our unfunded liability for CalPERS. We've been looking at this, even under our prior chair, Andy Elkine, for quite a while, about how we kind of, how we can extra fund that and make some more advance on the unfunded amount. So we talked about different funding levels and different policies, ways to do it, taking out extra money out of operating expense or out of the fund balance. And so we'll be getting a lot more information from our CFO at either the next meeting or soon, and have some more update for you after that. We did put off electing the chair and the vice chair, which will happen in our next meeting, which is coming up quickly. Thanks very much.
Did you want to add anything for a Measure Y Oversight Committee report?
Oh, thanks for that. I was out of state, and so I wasn't able to be there, and our director said that she would cover for me or cover the meeting. And
Yes, I can share a little bit. So one of the things that the Measure Y committee agreed to is to create an ad hoc committee to review the 2023 Sonoma County Grand Jury Report, which discusses citizen oversight committees. They have not agreed on who will be on that committee. They just voted to approve it, and I think at the next meeting, they will seek volunteers.
Thank you. Any public comment on any of the reports? Moving right along, old and new business, we don't have any. Any agenda items for future commission meeting? We have the sustainability report coming up as well. Commissioner Doyle.
There are probably going to be some legislative news from Washington and Sacramento, and so I will make a report next month if you guys like that.
Okay. The date and time of our next meeting is Wednesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. and we will be at the Sonoma County headquarters. So, note the location change. Headquarters. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.